Hi, and welcome to Build to Scale. This is a weekly show that's going to go out every week on LinkedIn. So, welcome to the first episode. And it's designed for trades and construction business owners that want to grow and scale their business, to move themselves off the tools and help them develop their business as an asset. So, this first episode, it makes sense that we cover off what is the difference between a business and a job. And some of it's really obvious, some of it's not so obvious. But I'm going to take you through the advantages of starting to think like a business owner and not thinking that you're going to have a job for the next 30 years. These episodes are going to be 10 to 15 minutes maximum, so short and punchy. So let's dive straight in. So what is the difference between a job and a business? Job, you're essentially trading your time for money. Everybody knows that. But you're the bottleneck. So if you're really busy, things are not getting done in your business. You're not getting your accounts done. You're not sending your gas safety certificates or whatever other safety certificates. You're not doing any advertising or marketing. You're behind on quoting and sending out proposals. And, if you stop working, the business generally stops generating money. That's the definition of having a job as a business. Whereas on the other side, if you have your business as an asset and you start moving in that direction, you have systems and you have processes and you have a team that can operate without you being there every single day. So you can go away on holiday for a week or two and the business is still running. Things are still getting done. Money is still being generated. Customers are still getting installations and services delivered. But the most important thing is it has value beyond your labor. You're creating something that will have value one day. So that is the difference. And this is what we're going to focus on in this series, is how you can move your business in that direction so it has value. So if you do want to exit one day, and let's be honest, we're all going to exit our business one day. Some will choose to exit their business at a time of their choosing. Others won't get that choice through ill health or anything else that comes along. So let's look at some of the stats. Solo-based businesses without any sort of systems or processes, and it's just got a founder working in the business. They have a much higher failure rate, 3 times the failure rate of employer-based businesses. 11.3% of micro businesses close annually, and there's zero entitlement to any sort of government help if you do fall on hard times. So versus having your business set up as an asset with systems and processes, it generates revenue when you're off site, when you're away, when you're not working, when you're sick. It is still generating revenue and cash. And employer-based businesses have a much higher survival rate than solo-based businesses. And when I refer to employer-based businesses, you know what? Building a team around you to support you. You don't always have to employ people. There's lots of other ways of doing it. But having systems and processes, so when you do bring people into your business, they can just get on and do the job. You're going to have a much more bulletproof business going forward. And the closure rate for these types of businesses falls way beyond that of solo-based businesses. So that's another reason to start thinking about how you can develop your business as an asset. And revenue-wise, of course, if you have people working with you in the business and systems and processes that don't rely on you trading your time, revenue goes through the roof. Versus when you're working for yourself and you're a solo-based business, the only thing you can sell is your time. That is all you can sell. You can put your prices up and you can get clever about a few things and you can probably have some other products you can sell. But generally speaking, you're trading your time for money. So if you have an employer-based business where you're bringing a team together and you've got systems and processes and you're developing a brand, your revenue goes higher and you're far more bulletproof as a business. So looking at the two different models, you've got the owner-operator model, which is generally unsellable. There's very few owner-operator businesses that you can sell because they generally have a lot of IP that's linked to the owner. They might be called, AB Plumbing and Heating or something. So, you've not got a brand name, you've not got a brand. You're not going to be able to exit this business. And at the end of working for 30 or 40 years, you're going to have something which is worth zero. So isn't it better to start thinking about this now and thinking about how can you develop your solo entrepreneur business as a asset-based business that has value? So you might be able to get 3 or 6 times the profit as a sales price of your business, and you're going to have far more interest in people buying it if you've got existing systems and processes and people working in the business, and it doesn't need you in the business day to day. It has far more value as something that you can sell. I did wonder whether to put this in here, but you know what? It is a conversation that's worth having, and that is the mental health and stress and strain and anxiety of being a solo-based business in many cases can be a lot higher than if you've got a good team around you. I do hear a lot of people say, I prefer working on my own. It's a headache when you have people working for you. You know what? It's only a headache when you have people working for you if you hire the wrong people. If you hire the right people and you build a good team, then your stress levels reduce, your mental health improves, your anxiety improves, everything improves. So this is a conversation that's worth having. That in the construction industry, the suicide rate is nearly 4 times that of the national average of any other occupation, because it's a lonely place when you're working on your own. You've not got a team around you. You've not got a safety net. You are everything. And if the business hits the rails, income plummets, you end up in this spiral. It's not a good place to be. So that's another reason why it's worth looking at developing a team around you and a business that is an asset. So how do you do that? Well, you start off by systemizing and documenting all of the processes in your business. So, your sales process, your quoting process, your, post-job process, your follow-up, everything to do with paperwork, document every single process. That's where you start. Because then when you start to hire people, and by the way, coming back to what I said before, you don't always have to hire people in the traditional sense where they're on the payroll. We live in the gig economy now where there's a lot of people that will happily help you for 5-10 hours a week, where you can just start off making that transition before you then do eventually hire people. You can actually go into the gig economy and find a VA that's going to help take some of the pressure off you. You can get somebody answering the phones, you can get somebody doing the paperwork, you can get some help with your advertising and marketing. So it's all about then starting to delegate, then moving on to scale. So focus on developing your brand, building up your pipeline, and getting to a point where your business is an asset. So I'm going to introduce you to Jordan. So Jordan runs Videtta Heating, which when we started working with him 5 years ago, we're now into our 6th year of working together. His revenue was at about 220K, just over. He was a traditional owner-operator on the tools every day, doing everything in his business, relying a lot on word of mouth and referrals, no system in place to generate leads. He was working weekends. He was 11 o'clock at night sending off gas safety certificates, stressed. The usual story. It's so familiar. So we've been working together now for 5 years, coming into our 6th year. And over that time, the partnership has helped him develop an asset of his business. He turned over 1.3 million last year. It's nearly a 500% growth from when we started working together. He's not fully off the tools, but he is off the tools 75-80% of the time. So he can go on holiday now, and he's got a team around him that are going to carry on working. The phones are going to get answered, quotes are going to get done, proposals sent, and customers will get their boilers, their servicing done. He's got a website which has got a back end to it, which handles all the bookings. He's got a job management tool system. He's got a customer relationship CRM tool. So he's got tools in place that can automate a lot of the stuff that he was doing manually. So, he's getting off the tools, right? So you've got a choice here, and you can either stay on road A, stay on that road and have unpredictable income, be working long weeks and be stuck on the tools for the next 20, 30, 40 years. Or you can look at a different system the book solid system, we call it, which is generating more predictable leads, which has systems that run without you and a path to scale. So I hope you enjoyed that. Keeping these to 10 minutes. I hope that's kind of, I don't know, lit some light bulbs, started a fire within you, made you think a little bit differently about how you can make that transition from being a business where you're trading your time for money, essentially a job, to thinking about how you can then go about scaling that and have an asset that, you know, if you decide to exit your business in 10, 15, 20 years time, it will have value. And it will only have value if you've built the brand, have systems and processes, have a team behind you, and have platforms and software that kind of backs everything up. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, but you need to start thinking about it today. Anyway, I just wanted to end this with how we end these, which is we offer a free growth audit, which is essentially we're going to send you a 5-minute video on your business, short, snappy, but we're going to have a look at your website, we're going to have a look at your online presence, and we're just going to present back to you in a 5-minute video some things that you can do now to start making that transition where you move off of the tools. And it starts with looking at your website. Is it a brochure site? Is it a high generating, high converting website? What does your online presence look like? And, you know, just some ideas on how you can improve. Those videos, generally there's 3 to 5 really good nuggets in there that you can take away and action without any sort of help. And if you do want a further conversation, hey, we're here to have that further conversation. But that's it for episode 1. I hope that was useful. I hope that's kind of lit a bit of a fire, switched on some light bulbs, and look forward to seeing you in episode 2. Thanks for joining.